and welcome back to In Focus, the show where we discuss how creative outlets allow individuals to manage their mental health and share their stories. I'm Eve, and in this episode we will be focusing on eating disorders and how they affect their day-to-day lives. To talk with us today about this is Andi Bradbury. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and your degree, Andi.
Sure thing. So I'm literally in my second year of art, fine art at the minute.
Nice.
I am hoping eventually to go into art therapy. For the past couple of years I've been studying counselling, so I've got my level 3 in counselling. So hopefully what we're going to be doing is getting my fine art degree, fingers crossed, and then I could be then studying to combine both of them together and create it into art therapy.
Wow, amazing.
Thank you.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
I mean, I'd love to say it with like another 6 cats or something.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I know, but
I would, yeah.
probably I'm hoping to be in the mental health sector, hoping so. So I've got another year of my degree to do, and then I'll likely be doing my master's, which is going to be another year. So hopefully I'll even be looking at that kind of sector, but I'm a big believer in we go where the world takes us. So I'm saying that now, and I'll probably end up, I don't know, working where I am at the minute. It's one of those.
And you can bring all your cats with you.
Oh, honestly, it's
Who's
great.
saying you can't do everything and not have 6 cats by your side?
Well, this is it. I'm just going to use that counselling and just open a cafe and have like a massive cat cafe.
Imagine a cat cafe.
Wow.
Wow, like cats entering in little like little bow ties and with like little trays. Oh yeah.
See, that's what you want.
That's what I want. Okay, so what are some of the topics you discuss within your artwork?
So I do more kind of conventional topics like horror, pop culture, that kind of thing.
Nice.
I've recently tried to look at textures, so I've been recreating human blood, just using fake, and it's a nice way of looking at textures, and the red looks nice. But then
I love red.
Thanks. Good.
That's cool.
What I do as well is go a little bit deeper and look at kind of representing mental health through art. One of the recent ones I've been doing is looking at phobias through I do a lot of female form, so a lot of anatomy. So at the minute I've done arachnophobia, and I've also been doing a fear of death. So it's the whole mask situation, and this is what I mean. I go in a few different places. So
no, it's so interesting.
Yeah, I like the macabre, to be honest. That's fine. I mean, look at us.
No, I love the fit. The fit is amazing.
Thank you.
The cuffs, the collar, I just love it.
Thank you.
Okay, so how has art impacted your mental health?
So originally it was not a good relationship between art and mental health. I grew up in a really, really religious household. Like, I mean, my brother's a priest, so that's how religious my house is.
Wow.
So when I started doing all this and drawing, like, because obviously I was like 13, so it was the anime phase, and then it was, yeah, exactly. So I was doing all this like really weird stuff, and everybody was like, well, no, don't do that, that's wrong. And I was like, oh, can't do that then. I was like, right. So then it sort of builds up and builds up, so art wasn't much of a release.
Okay.
But now I'm using a lot of my art to sort of articulate what doesn't come out as words. So again, I've been looking at the counselling that I've already had and trying to use that as a way to bring that to life.
And with your mum and was it your mum and dad? Was it them? How do they feel now? Do they know that you're doing?
Honestly, my dad was my absolute biggest kind of, he was all for me doing absolutely everything. He's an artist as well, that's why I've got into this. He does a lot more kind of charcoal and portrait work, that kind of thing. Nice. But I didn't used to sleep as a kid, so I'd come down at like 4 or 5 years old, and my dad would be watching something and go, right, if this scares you, you turn it off. So I'd be like, it's all right, it's fine. So I've been watching Exorcist when I was like 4 and 5 and thinking, oh, that doesn't look nice. But it didn't cause any sort of phobia. So I think my dad has there's a lot to answer for, to be honest. I'm pretty sure this is all down to him.
It's all his fault.
All his fault. But he's literally been my biggest fan. My mum has constantly been very much a critic throughout my life. A case of, well, I got an A star in my GCSEs and an A in maths, and she was like, well, why didn't you get an A star in maths? But it's that generation, and
yeah,
it's fine. She loves what I'm doing now, and she's kind of got past it, but I think she was just trying to be the best mum she could be and kind of pushing me into something with a bit of a safer aspect. So, sorry, Mum, you know,
Here I
going
am.
into work. Sorry.
They tend to do that though. Like my mum and dad are quite similar. Like they want what you want is sometimes, you know, they might see it as they've been through everything and they might think, oh, that's not the best route for you to go, but I know you want that, but this might be better. But it's like, yeah, but it would be better if I did want it, so I'm not going to do something I want to do.
Exactly, I don't want to work in a bank. Look at me, could you imagine me? No, nobody would want that.
I mean, you never have a boring day. I always think that. How do you use art as a tool to bring light to these topics, such as bulimia and self-harm?
So I try to do it with being a bit more down to earth. I know the difficult topics. It's something that not a lot of people want to address, don't want to be going, and I know what I do is not gallery work. I know it's not something everybody wants to go around and see, but what I do is I try to make it a little bit more everyday. One of the pieces I've done at the minute based on bulimia is like a jelly face vomiting loads of Haribo sweets, because I think everybody's got some sort of sweets in the cupboards, and I personally, I just can't stand them. I don't get them. My husband has them all the time, and he just eats them, and I'm like, it's horrible. So I'm trying to give that bit of a connection between on how I feel and bringing it to life that kind of way.
Yeah.
So I mean, it didn't work. He still
eats them.
Yeah, so that didn't work. So you know.
And which packet is it?
It's the Star Mix.
Star Mix.
Yeah, them ones with hearts and eggs.
Oh, them ones. Oh, like the original ones.
The OGs.
Oh, the OGs. Yeah, the heart and the eggs are the best.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go with your husband on that one.
Is it?
Sorry.
It's fine. No, he has them, and he has the tongue fastics.
The tongue fastics, yeah, they're also the best. The dummies are the best.
Oh yeah. I never knew they were a dummy.
Really?
I grew up my entire life thinking it was a key.
I mean, I can understand why.
Yeah,
easily mistaken.
That's good.
But going back to that though, people will look at it as like it's an everyday thing that people relate to, and they'll find a way by looking at your art to what's going on with them. Yeah. So in a way, it's always connected, no matter what it is. So I think it's really special.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
So what was the process in developing this portfolio of work that discusses such personal topics?
To be honest, it is completely selfish the way I've done it. I have done it to kind of help what's been going on inside me personally. It's been great to kind of put it onto a page and that somebody can kind of appreciate, rather than me being like, I'm having a bit of a bad day and just like verbal, just everything pouring out. It's great to have it as a picture where, like you said, people can like pop that exactly the way they want. Like the things that I do, it doesn't always, it's not always the way that I want it to come across. It can look different to somebody else, which is perfect. It's great for a portfolio because it means that other people are then looking at it and hopefully resonating something with themselves and helping something within them.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be words all the time. No. Like we literally speak words all the time. Why not do something that looks pretty?
I mean, I'm probably not pretty. Pretty colours. Pretty colours. Yeah, there you go.
I need to see this now. Yeah, I've said that.
Bright. Well, I mean, it's got like cherries and like raspberries. That's
I reckon
pretty,
it could be pretty.
It's just cover up the giant human heart on the plate, and
I think human hearts are pretty.
Thank you. See, so glad you agree.
I love a human heart, not as much as a Haribo heart, but I'd rather eat a Haribo heart than a human heart.
I'm so glad you said that. Because that'd be a completely different chat.
Get me on I'm a Celebrity. So following on from my previous question, what is it that you'd like to display artwork that represents your battle with having mental health?
So I'm hoping to display something which is very much resonates with other people. One of the ones I did was like a tribute to my husband, who's been helping me throughout this. I don't know how he's managed, because but it's literally a piece for him, and it's called Eating for Love, and it is literally a giant plate with a human heart on it, and it's dressed with loads of raspberries, and it looks really pretty because I eat for love. I eat for him. And that's what that one's about. It's got a lovely meaning to it.
That is so lovely.
You just need to get past the bits.
I eat for love.
Thank you.
That's lovely. What advice would you give to other individuals struggling with bulimia and self-harm?
So I wouldn't be in the best position to give advice because it's something that I'm still struggling with. But I think as long as there's people out there that want to be getting better, want to be getting over this, want to be fighting for it, nothing that is worth doing is ever easy. I think as long as you've got a good network of people, if you start talking to somebody and they look at you or they judge you in any way, they aren't your people. You walk away. You go find somebody who wants to talk to you, who wants to help you.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the best thing to it's going to be difficult. You're going to have times where things aren't going to be going right and all you want to do is something horrible. But as long as you've got people there who you can talk to, even if it is like me and you're having a bad day and you put it on, you use charcoal, you use clay, there's other ways of dealing with what's going inside rather than the negative aspects of it. And I think to create something pretty through art is pretty. I think it's a good place to start, and I hope that light arts, especially art therapy, will be more universally kind of credited as well. So
Beautiful.
Hopefully.